Kind of sticking up, so we should now be live, which of course means welcome back to the Storytime network, where we are back with D&D 5e. So we're, going to court.
Objection!
The people in Dragon's Throne are not very positive towards us. They do not like us right now.
I wonder why.
Also, did you guys inputs in the buffs to your Dracolich pieces?
Oh, I don't think I have done that to my character sheet yet. Let's do that right now.
I think yours was the most substantial buff, actually.
Oh, I don't think I added mine.
It's no rush.
How do I do that again?
Just literally copy paste it and
From the chat?
Yeah.
So, yeah, because in your character sheet, you should have, like, when you hover over an item in your inventory, there should be, like, the dots to the side.
Yep.
And then you can just click that and then input in the new description for the item. But yes, so, last left our heroes, Dairon, the Genasi rogue, who I was going to say is the one who's probably, I don't want to say the least guilty. I mean, if anything, it's more Felix's fault because he spoke to Aurix when they first met. But you were always going to meet Aurix, so it didn't matter. So yeah, we've got Darren the Genasi rogue, Seamus the half-elf bard, Felix the Eladrin painter, and Aldane the half-elf paladin. The four of you, along with Rua, had a very nerve-wracking time going through the city of Centralis after finally making your way back. You saw the damage that the invasion of the dragons caused, and the damage that especially Akra did to several dragons. And you spoke to Kuro at the guardhouse, learning more about his origins, and I guess, more of what he actually looks like, in a sense, because of his draconic features that he was developing from using his dragon's breath. You learned who was actually in the know about the information regarding his origins, and you learnt that the reason why it was told not to be spread is because Rua ordered people to not share it. After that was done, you were given 3 weeks of downtime. Some of you bought furniture, some of you did research, some of you did skill training, and other things. Once that was done, you were then to accompany Aurix as he would teleport you into Dragon's Throne, the, I guess, city of Siltanok, although it's really the only main settlement. And yeah. So, when you actually left the house, you found armed guards, several of them, who all held you at weapon point and demanded that you follow them for a trial. And like I said before the session started, you guys are basically in like a lobby area. You're hearing like various people and seeing various people like moving through, just, getting the room ready and just getting things sorted. And yeah, you're basically just sat there in like a seating area as Aurix is like flicking through a notebook, it seems.
So, on a scale from 1 to 10, how screwed are we?
Pretty high.
Anyone who is proficient, you can give me a history check.
Yay.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Holy shit!
Off to a good start, woohoo!
I see Jack is going off.
Seamus less so.
I'm glad I didn't drink my drink when I saw that number. No one
Hell of
else.
a roll to start the session off with, that's for sure.
So, Seamus, things don't look too good. From what you remember hearing one story about Siltanok and how they still engage in the death penalty. Still, because some countries did abolish that. But yeah, that's running through your head, which, probably isn't good. That's the one thing you really remember regarding their dealings with criminals and whatnot. Aldane, you know that yes, while they still do the death penalty, it is only for extremely,
Heinous?
extremely heinous stuff like sexual
Mass murder.
assaults, mass murder,
Killing a noble?
I'm going to get to that. Usually, however, they will not only do they ask the jury regarding the use of the death penalty, they will also ask other people within the country who aren't even part of the jury, just to make sure that they aren't being too gung-ho using said death penalty as an option.
Yeah, that's the danger with state-sponsored executions.
Yeah, hence why they try and go out of their way to not engage in it too much. To your recollection, because you got over 20, the last time you remember hearing of someone actually having the death penalty was about 30 years ago. So it's been a long time since they've actually done it. Given what you know that Aurix did kill a noble, however, and his general high bounty on his head, if you remember, 1 million gold if he's dead, 2 million gold if he's brought back alive.
So how much is that in berries?
How much is that in gum?
But yeah, I'm trying to think of how to describe this. You aren't sure what will happen with you guys. Best case scenario, Aurix would be having to sail to do time, and you would be allowed to go, but with a heavy warning. Worst case scenario, he would be killed, and you guys would have to do time for being, accomplices. Not accomplices to the murder, but just associating with him.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing who he was, as well.
So being accessories, basically.
Yeah.
To ongoing criminal acts or something.
Well, because Aurix is
a criminal act being continually evading arrest.
Yeah, because he's actively practiced law in the country while he still had the bounty on his head. For the power move.
Mm-hmm. Damn it, Aurix.
What?
Oh, nothing. Just thinking.
Out loud, apparently. My god.
Yes. My apologies.
You're fine. I mean, it's not your fault. I'm the one who killed my own mother.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything you guys want to know? Anything that I could help you with regarding this trial?
How do they take long rambling speeches?
Not very well.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Despite the leading race of the people in charge, the laws are surprisingly not draconian. However, They are strict, and obviously messing around in the courts, especially given
no
the severity of
kangaroo
my
court.
crimes. What was that, sorry?
So no kangaroo court nonsense.
I mean, no. I mean, we might. I mean, I could turn one of you into a kangaroo during the courts.
Honestly, that would be hilarious.
But they would be. There would be a field of anti-magic anyway
Yeah.
to ensure that, you know, you can't do anything to escape. He puts a hand on his chin as if he's in thought. I mean, the only thing I would suggest is be honest about your intentions and your association with me.
Will do.
If you have to throw me under the bus, so be it. All it
I mean, we're
means is
not gonna
that
want to.
all it means is that when I escape, just don't associate with me for like 3 decades.
Oh, I
Or
thought
if
you were
you
gonna
do
say.
Or if you do associate with me, don't let them know until 3 decades or so have been up.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure if once we have the Dracolich piece, we'll really want or hopefully need to come back to Siltanok anytime soon.
I mean, Seiryu's palace is here, honestly.
Yeah, that one's
Well-
going to be a little more difficult, but
The city's also gorgeous. I've come here many times on holiday. I even
It's-
officiated a wedding one time. Granted, I was heavily drunk.
it's more that, you know, our special items, let's call them, don't
Oh, I know.
exactly, you know,
They don't endear you to dragons.
yeah.
I mean, dragonborn, lizard folk, kobolds, they're all fine. It's more specifically like me and actual dragons that don't like it.
Hmm.
I should know that Palios gentleman, when I spoke with him, when he was attached to the piece that you have, Seamus, I did find him very disagreeable for no discernible reason at the time.
I don't know, I just kind of got that vibe from him.
But what do you know? Just shrugs and looks at Seamus with a sly smile, clearly being sarcastic.
Seamus is just kind of laughing it off.
But yeah,
Well
like,
So, I mean, if you're okay with us throwing you under the bus,
I mean, don't do it like right out the gate. Come on.
but if you can
No,
if you can
No
escape
friends here.
if you can escape easily enough, couldn't we get the reward?
Yeah, but I'm going to be escaping way after you guys have left the country. Because here's the thing, if I escaped, like, tomorrow, that would make your job infinitely harder, because then at that point, they would probably capture you, thinking we've made some sort of deal, to get to me. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
Wait,
like...
what were we talking
you-
about? I missed that. Tyron says as they come back from being in outer space a little bit.
Also, like, you know, here's the thing: we still don't even know where the entrance to the Dracolich piece is. Not properly, anyway. So, you know, we need to, like, actually, you know, not piss off the, you know, the people of this country. Not yet, anyway.
Hmm. That does sound like a good game plan.
I mean, it's
Don't
just
piss
common.
off the people of the country we're, currently in.
Yeah, you know, we're already. I mean, none of you guys are, like, scalebound of any kind. So, you know, like, you're already. I don't want to say that the people of this country are, like, subtly racist. That would be a bit too. What's the word?
Derivative?
Too strong, I would say. But there is still a level of discrimination that's very subtle.
It's systemic versus active.
Yes, thank you. There's the thing. And you actually see him pull out his notebook and he writes he writes in his book. Yes. Which, you know, I get. This country's mostly out of the way compared to the other ones.
And, you know, dragons are intimidating to a lot of non-dragon folk.
I don't know if you know, but, like, typically Dragonborn aren't actually related to dragons. And most Dragonborn don't like dragons. Dragonborn were originally slaves to dragons.
I mean,
So-
I know that when I was in Collier, or living down there, it would be often, we were told, especially as trainees, to not cross the border as willy-nilly.
Yeah. And, you know, a surprising amount of people from Bovetman are Dragonborn. Who would have guessed?
Yeah, there are several moments where tensions were uncomfortable.
I mean, to be fair, the king and queen of this country aren't terrible.
No, of course not. But it's
You know,
more
that-
it's just tensions of international tensions.
Well, it's... How do I describe it? The thing is, like you said with it being systemic, the racism, it's... It's tricky, especially if you're like a Dragonborn that isn't a metallic color, you know, brass, copper.
Like if you're
Gold,
one of the chromatics.
Yeah, because, like, I mean, a while ago there was a problem with, like, a chromatic dragon.
I mean, we're dealing kind of with one.
Yeah, you are. So, like, that's also another part of it. So there's almost like a self-hatred for Dragonborn. So it's why a lot of them ended up leaving, or a surprising number of them immigrated to other countries. But, I mean, it's not really necessarily a problem you guys will encounter. You know, I doubt you're going to be like, oh, hey, did you know X% of Dragonborn? Like you guys, you know, like...
It's one of those things where it's not our problem until it is.
Yeah, and even then, like, it's how they're going to make it your problem.
You'd be surprised. I feel like that's tempting too much fate.
The bigger
They're gonna
problem
make it
is more-
everyone's problem.
The bigger problem is more that you're associating with someone who murdered a duchess.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to earn us any friends.
I mean, all of us have done stuff that'll piss off one group or another. I mean, the stories I've heard about Akura. I mean, granted, a lot of them were across other planes of existence, but still.
Yep.
Before you can really say much more, you see the bailiff come over to you guys and just say, "Are you ready to participate in the court? Or do you need more time?"
Dairon looks at Xylosian.
He just looks at you guys. I mean, it's up to you. I don't mind going in right now.
I'm
If any
ready.
of you guys need to have a wee or whatever, go for it now. If not, then let's mosey in.
I'm good.
I won't have to pee until shit gets real.
Are you gonna
So-
be okay? Do we need to get you like a bag or something?
I'm just imagining Seamus is more scared because this might tank his reputation as a musician.
Guard,
I
can you
mean-
please get my friend here, Seamus? the musician Seamus a catheter and a bag.
Like, I'm just imagining Seamus, like... has to
Please,
do, like,
condom catheter.
He has to do, like, a public...
I don't want to stick a tube up there.
He has to do, like, a public apology.
And please tell your friends that you're that famous musician.
I mean,
Just the next big apology video. Just
Seamus with a ukulele in front of the camera.
Good lord, I remember that.
I mean, it's either that or he could, post his mother's death certificate after being accused of charity fraud.
Wild.
God.
Who did that?
The completionist.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, he at least he's not blaming, like, a head injury for committing plagiarism. Somerton moment. I'm saying this as I'm trying to, like, find the song I want to use. I'm not, like, just making fun of creators' apologies and, like, not doing anything.
We can do that. That's fine.
No, this is too suave. No. Is this the one? No. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry.
Don't worry, Kaido. We believe in you.
Oh god. Is this the one?
Alright.
The problem is because all the songs are like Mesmerize, Dreams Become Real, Rising Tide. I'm like, which one's a which?
Yeah, it's not very descriptive, honestly.
It's fine. There's some I remember just because I use them a lot, like the Shadowlands songs.
Yep.
Is this it? Hmm.
I'm just imagining we've been stopped at the door by the bailiff just going, sorry, the DJ's having trouble picking out a good soundtrack.
Yeah.
Don't worry, give him a few minutes, he'll work it out.
Just cut to Gumshoe just like in a corner like, oh god, which of these vinyls was it?
If you don't
So am I
find
allowed
the
to do something stupid yet?
If you don't find the correct song soon, Gumshoe, I'll be deducting your salary once again.
Oh, man, at
Oh,
this
what?
point I'm paying you!
At this point, I can only afford half a noodle cup.
Seamus is currently eyeing the bailiff's gun.
They-
Hungrily.
Yeah,
I know, it's a joke.
I just imagine Seamus doing the Jamiroquai, like, sliding across the floor. Okay, I found it. Here you go.
No. It's like a long time on my head.
So, as you make your way on the defense side, you watch as like Aurix puts a hand on his chest, and you watch as he's like, because he always likes wearing like red and gold lavish clothing, and you know, like, he just likes wearing fine stuff. But you notice his outfit changes into a suit. Oh. It's a deep navy with like a pinkish tie.
Should we change as well?
No, you don't need to change. I'm just changing into proper lawyer attire. You notice on the opposite side is a how do I describe this? He's a green dragonborn in like a nice waistcoat, and he has like eyeglasses. And so you then see the judge, who is a kobold, and you see him go behind where the judge's seat is, but you don't see him at all. And you see him walk back out and just say, "Bailiff," and you watch as the bailiff who brought you guys in jogs over and then lifts him up onto the seat. And you still don't see the kobold. And the only thing you see is the kobold's hand up, and he's clicking his fingers, and you see another person bringing a booster seat. And then the kobold puts in there, and you still only just see, like, above his, like, upper torso, and, you know, everything above his upper torso. And you just say, right, court is in session. So, is the defense ready? And he looks to you guys.
Or as will probably ever be.
Aurix just nods and says, yes, my clients and I are all sufficiently ready. And then you see on the opposite end, the prosecutor just smile and take a sip from his drink. Of course, the prosecution is always ready. And so then you see the kobold reach by the side of him, and he pulls out a list that looks as long as he is tall. And as he, like, peruses through it, you just see, interesting. Anyway, shopping list aside, he then pulls out a tiny, like, post-it note sized piece of paper and then reads that. Right, so, you, as he looks to the defense attorney, you know, Aurix, you, Aurix Ayanyama, have been charged with the murder of the late Duchess and various other criminal activities, such as practicing law within this country, multiple attempts to resist arrest. You have we've also been informed you own a private mercenary company and have done various other activities. How do you... What do you say in relation to these allegations? And you just... Because with the angle of how you're sat down and, like, in your seats, you can actually look at Aurix's expression, and you just see his expression twisting like a smile that he's clearly trying to stifle. Well, I'm not going to deny any of it. I did all of those things. And you just hear like a gasp from the jury.
It's related to legal defense method.
We're going to
But
prison.
I just
We're
muttered
going
to
to...
Dyron.
What were you going to say, Mel?
Just muttered to Seamus. We're going to prison again, aren't we?
Yeah, looks that way.
The whole time Rua's just been quiet because he's like, and he leans into you, Darren, and just says, it just seems more sensible for me to not talk.
Who does? Sorry, which one?
Rua whispers you and says it's probably sensible if I just don't talk during this.
Probably.
And you just see Aurix say, "Allow me to elaborate, please." You see, the thing is it really my fault I did any of those things? And
Okay.
you just see the prosecutor put a hand over his face as if like, you know. And the kobold actually looks intrigued by this like opening line. And he just says, "You see, with the resisting arrest, who's to say I knowingly resisted? No one ever stops me whenever I would cross the border. It wasn't as if my description wasn't plastered across all of the land. I was always under the strict belief that I was always free to go, come go as I please. Hence why I was even willing and even able to practice law." And you see some of the jury actually nod their heads as if like, he makes a decent point. And you just then see the prosecutor slam their hand on the desk and point to Aurix and just say, "Hold it!" And he just looks over what looks to be like notes concerning the case, and he just says...
Sorry to interrupt, but I think Darren just leans over to Rua. I'm assuming that Darren and Rua sat next to each other.
Yeah.
Does he look like he's worth half that edge, or is that just me?
I don't know, I feel like he's waiting for someone.
Maybe some karma's in his future.
God damn it.
And so you just see him like look over the notes and he just says, "You do realize that would take a massive leap in logic, Aurix, considering that for the entire time you were doing business in this country, you were using a pseudonym." And the judge turns to the prosecutor and is like, "Yes, very good point." It seems as if the judge's loyalty for who he's more willing to believe is very fickle, you can gather.
Worse.
And so Aurix just clears his throat and says, "Well, that might be true if it wasn't for the fact that Xylosians is actually my middle name. I know plenty of people...
What kind of alias is that then?
I know plenty of people use their middle names instead of their first names. Perhaps some people do it out of preferring that." And Aurix even just says, "And unless you have my birth certificate, which, well, I've been around for hundreds of years, it would be very hard for you to find that." And you do actually see the prosecutor just like gnash his teeth a bit and just says, "Well, do you even have your own birth certificate?" And Aurix says, as he like smiles and reaches into his suit and pulls out a document that then he hands over to the bailiff, who then hands it to the judge. And the judge just, reads through that. Yes, indeed, as it says here. Aurix Xylosiant Ianiama. And he then hands it to the prosecutor, who then reads it, and he actually, sighs, clearly defeated in that regard. "I see. But that still doesn't address the issue of you killing what was believed to be a very beloved duchess over 100 years ago. What do you say in defense of that?" And Aurix just he looks behind you guys. If you want to give me he looks behind to you guys, and if you want to give me a perception check, for those who don't have lip reading as an ability.
What about for those of us that do?
You don't need to make the roll.
Cool.
Nice solid dirty 20.
Nice. You just see him say, "Does this guy ever give up? Come on now." Yeah, he just says that as if like, why isn't this guy just given up? And you
Not
just
the
see-
club. That's not the way of the Gavin.
You see him slowly turn around and just say, well, to give an elaboration on why I killed her, you see, I was just a boy, 5 years old. Back where I came from, I was just the child of a noble. My father fell in love with her. They had me. And when I became 5 years old, she decided to leave by burning and destroying most of the house that we lived in, and took the vast majority of any monetary assets that were taken. And I was forced to live with my father until I was the age of 13, where by the time he finally died, I then decided to leave and tried to find people who were willing to travel with me, because I know I can be rather difficult. And together, we became stronger, we became heroes, we fought various evils of the land, sought to right the wrongs of the realm, and eventually we found ourselves in Siltanok for a brief period, at which point I finally divulged the just mentioned backstory to my friends, and I told them to throw me under the bus, proverbially, as I would be willing to go and kill her myself. And that is what I did. And he looks over to the judge and he just says, I assume you have the documentation in regards to the exact cause of death, right? And you see the kobold does, and he just like flips over the other side of his post-it note. Again, like it's not, this judge doesn't seem to be doing a very good job. And yeah, how do I describe it? He does that, he does the
He does the thing.
he reads the note. And he then you just see Aurix nod as if like, okay. And looks back at you guys and says, he mouths again, I'm gonna keep the roles that you both got, Aldane and Felix, and he just says, this trial's gonna be piss easy, watch. And he turns around and just says, well, as I was saying,
Can I just roll an insight just to see if I believe that?
yeah, you can roll insight and see if he actually means that.
Can I also just get a vibe check of the room, or is that too much?
Vibe check.
I'd say that'd have to be a separate insight roll.
Vibe check is crazy.
So I'm gonna go with the first roll for now.
Okay.
Oryx is nervous. You can clearly tell he's trying to just tell the truth, if only to make things easier.
Right.
I will say though, the birth certificate, false.
Of course it is.
Complete fabrication. In fact, you're sure you saw when the document was being passed around. Cammy's signature was listed at the bottom.
Gyro's not gonna comment just because that doesn't feel like their style.
You wouldn't snitch on Cammy.
No.
And so, yeah. The room, it feels really torn, because, like, a lot of them, you can actually tell, all of you, like, most of them aren't bothered about this Duchess being killed. And considering they're seemingly believing Oryx's story, which, whether it's true or not, they seem to be willing to hear it out. You know, obviously killing someone just because isn't, like, the right thing to do. But, like, you can tell people are at least willing to understand why you would go for a bit. And yeah, it's just... Like I said, the vibe's really weird, honestly. And... ultimately, like... how do I describe it? It's tricky. It could go either way, honestly. And so, Aurix then goes to continue. When I told my friends what I was doing, I asked them to say I forced them to come here, and that it was only because they outnumbered me that I made my escape and left them, knowing that they wouldn't agree with what I would do. Hence why I decided... hence why I did this on my own. You know, the killing, as it were. And, you know, ever since I left at Siltonok, obviously, and decided to continue doing my own thing out in the world. But, as I said, I was never under any impression that I was, like... that I was... how do I word this? That I was considered a criminal. Or, you know, that it would be to such an extent. And the prosecutor just, like, slams on the desk and says, "Now wait a moment. We have various eyewitness testimonies having reported you not only knowingly doing various criminal activities within the city, they have also come out and said that you were completely aware of you being a criminal." And you see one of the witnesses being brought in on the stand, and you see Achuaka. And as she walks in very surprisingly, like, nicely dressed clothes, you see her giving you the massive stink eye, Dairon.
Dairon narrows their eyes. Can I get can I try to get a
Yeah.
read on them?
Any of you can if you want.
I do love insight checks.
God damn it. Actually, wait, hold on.
Yeah,
Hold
don't you
on.
ever think that just makes it like a flat 8 plus the stat?
It's only when I'm trying to determine if
Right.
the creature's lying.
Okay.
But if I'm trying to uncover or decipher clues, I get advantage.
It's not really
wait,
a
no.
clue, though. You're just using insight to gauge someone's body language.
Right, hold on. There's another thing.
Is it at the level 9 rogue feature?
Yeah, it's my level 9 rogue feature, yes. I
What
need
is
to
it
pull
doing?
up. Give me 1 second and I will let you know. At 9th level, you have advantage on a perception or investigation. Yeah, mind.
So what did you say? You cut out a little bit, sorry.
No, never mind. Still at all.
Okay.
Well,
So with that
if
11,
we're assuming they're lying, then it's an 8.
yeah. So with
Whatever,
that
man.
11, you can tell she just does not like you. Same for Aldane. You can tell that she's just staring daggers at Dairon. Seamus, you can sense both Seamus and Felix. It almost feels as if she's like resentful of Dairon. like, it seems to go deeper than just the dislike that would have been caused from at the prison. It's like, it seems to be more so than just, oh yeah, they had a fight at the prison and, like, you know.
Right.
And she just takes a step on the witness stand and she just, like, clears her throat. And the judge, the prosecutor, sorry, just says, so, what can you tell us about your association with Aurix? And so she just says, well, I was the person who helped him be allowed to even take the bar exam, to become a lawyer. I pulled some strings after he gave me some bribes, and so we made sure to get an examinator who was completely oblivious and ignorant to the crimes that this gentleman had committed. The point of this was so that we could catch him out when he got too comfortable, to the point where it would be too late for him to escape. Of course, he anticipated this and seemingly went out of his way to hire people who would then cause a riot nearby, so that the law enforcement would be deterred away from the bar exam and have to deal with that. And Aurix just slams the hand on his desk and says, excuse me, you can't just make these accusations without proof. Do you have any receipts? Or any correspondence that I would have had with these alleged criminals that caused the riots?
Can I see if they're lying?
Yeah, all of you can give me insight if you want.
Holy shit.
Aldane is locked in today. Well, you see her actually pull out a correspondence letter, and she hands it to the prosecutor, and then it gets past the judge, and Aurix gets a look at it. And if any of you want to read it, it's basically made. You can tell it's Aurix's handwriting. And if any of you want to investigate the letter, you can.
Investigation?
Yep. She's pretty confident, though, with this letter.
So 24, because I get the advantage.
Yep.
I'll leave it up to Darren if
Yeah.
Darren seems
So-
like they're going to be the ones to know this sort of thing.
This has to be Oryx's handwriting. However, you notice that this letter. How do I describe this? The ink seems far too fresh for it to be when. How do I describe this? The ink seems to be far too fresh on this piece of paper.
Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah?
I'm gonna let Aurix know about that.
I see you noticed it as well. Good eye, Daron. If you ever wanted
Just
to
like-
be my assistant...
I have a good eye for lying. Barkeep taught me well.
Well, objection, Achuaka. And he just, like, holds out the piece of paper. The ink on this is far too fresh for it to have been made during the time that you claim that I would have wrote this. But I passed the bar exam 40 years ago. If that was the case, this ink would be far too set into the paper. But this is clearly new. Which to me implies forgery. And the whole court is like, ooh. And you watch as Achuaka, like, is visibly taken aback. Like, what? We would never present forged evidence.
Uh-huh.
And you see her like walk off in a huff, and you watch as then the judge like narrowed eyes at the prosecutor, then looks to Aurix. All right then, Aurix. I would ask if you want to bring anyone to the witness stand to make a testimony on your behalf. And Aurix looks to you guys and just says, which of you would like to speak on my behalf for a moment? Actually, you know what? No, I'll make the decision. Aldane, you go up on the witness stand first.
Alright.
You are brought up on the witness stand, and so then the prosecutor, leaning on his desk, just says, so, states your name and profession, sir.
I am Aldean Sionadel. I am a paladin of, well, multiple entities now at this point. Primarily the sun goddess Rybar, but I also serve the Byakko, the divine tiger of ice and snow.
Well then, Aldane, what is your relationship with Aurix?
We've been acquainted for quite some time. He has aided us at several points when we were in grave peril. It would not be an understatement to say that he has saved our lives.
And when did you first meet Aurix?
I'm gonna roll an intelligence check so I can remember the exact time. Nope.
You know it was a while ago.
It has been many months since we made acquaintance. I don't recall the exact circumstances because most of the instances in which we met were during instances where we were in grave peril, and they've somewhat blended together in my head.
I see. And when were you made aware of Aurix's history and the kind of person he was, or rather is, vis-a-vis the criminality of what he had done?
He told us of his circumstances a couple months ago, if I recall correctly.
And you didn't see fit to report this to any officials?
I had no opportunity in which to do so. The past couple months have been involved a lot of happenings, so to speak.
I see. That's interesting because there have been reports and testimonies of all of you having, at minimum, a few weeks ago, in Centralis, where you had plenty of free time, and other reports of you having free time.
Free time does not equate to opportunity to report to your exact authority.
And how is that the case?
Who is the ambassador of Silternok to Centralis?
As it stands, we are currently in the process of getting a new one.
And what is the
last one
staffing at the
retired.
embassy as of now?
The staffing, well, they reach into their notes, as now the GM has to.
Because last I recalled, there was no one of any sufficient authority to file said reports. Or at the very least, the embassy was understaffed, as I knew it. And thus it did not occur to me to attempt to reach out to them.
You see, 1 second, I've got a sneeze coming in. Alright.
Bless you.
Gesundheit.
Thank you. He hands a list of names that work at the embassy. There are 5 people on the list. I'm not going to say the names because
Their confidentiality is important, yes.
But you see a list though on the handed to you, and a copy of the list is also handed to the judge, and of course the defense. There are various people on this list who you could have spoken to. To my knowledge, you're on somewhat positive terms with the king, no, the prince of Siltanok, as well as many other authorities that you could have reached out to have your message passed along.
Unfortunately, my acquaintance with the Prince of Siltanok is not particularly close. I could have tried a message through Rua, but Rua was also largely indisposed, and I don't know how easy that would have been for him under his circumstances.
I see. All right, then. I have
Largely...
no more
Okay.
He just says I have no more further questions of you. Then, thank you for your time. However,
Okay.
as you return to the defense side,
So,
you see,
how badly did I screw up?
or it just gives you an okay, like a thumbs up and a smile. The next, you see then, how do I describe this? You then see the prosecutor bring in another witness, and you instantly recognize this person. They are a young drow lady, very beautiful, short dark hair, and she just looks at you guys with a slight smile as she makes on the attendant stand.
You might recognize them.
You all do.
Of course it is.
So, please state your name and occupation. And she just clears her throat. My name is Layla Blackburn. And my occupation is... Let me actually find the exact title of her occupation. I'm a member of the Foreign Affairs Department within Siltanok. My job is generally handling various things such as immigration, people looking to immigrate for work, and also finding them jobs that they need or that would be suited to their skill set, among many other administrative tasks. And so the prosecution nods and he just says, "So, what is your relationship with Mr. Ayaniyama?" And she just says, "Well, during my time in Siltanok, he came to me asking me for ways to trying to think. This is the GM actually trying to think of how to describe this. He was looking for ways to basically get easier access within and out of the country. He asked for information such as if teleportation was possible in and out of said country, and many other things like that wouldn't require him to directly cross the border." And Aurix looks at you guys and he's like grimacing.
Don't worry, we might have an inn here.
You then see Aurix
Writes out a note and then passes it to Aurix.
Aurix just like clears his throat and says, "Well, do you have records of such a conversation taking place?" And she says, "Well, I have the time sheet of the appointments that our company had." And she hands a copy of it, and you see Aurix's name listed on that. We also have a transcript of the conversation that was had, and she hands another one. And you do see Aurix, you see in the section for Aurix where it has him mention if it's possible for him to teleport in and out of the country to avoid needing to pass through the border directly.
So this is out of character question, Kaido. So that big meeting at the neutral point, did it like make a decision or declaration on the status of the Ebon's Wing?
You don't know actually. You weren't informed.
Right. Okay.
The most you know is that Testament was going to allow various investigations to be made in and out of the country to find more information about the Ebon's Wing.
Right.
And when you were there with Rua, it was brought up between you all that it might be worrisome to mention Testament's affiliation with the Ebon's Wing because it could. You would need more substantiating evidence.
Okay, then. In character,
What-
I'm going to. Okay, finish your thought. Oh.
I was just going to say, again, this is more just so you aren't, like, saying the wrong thing. Not within session, but more like, so you guys have the right information as players. I mean, it was generally agreed that they are a problem, especially given that they did kidnap ambassadors from Black Rain, Claude Neopol, and Tennoyama, way back when in the prologue.
Yeah.
So they aren't exactly, like, popular, obviously. They're pretty disliked.
Okay, I'm still gonna say in character. I'm gonna lean over to Rua and ask, was there any declaration made about Ebon's Wing being like, I don't know, a terrorist group?
Oh yes, absolutely so.
Oh good, we have an in.
They were publicly denounced during the time that I was awake and not in a coma, and you guys were in Tanoyama doing your business there.
Right, you're closer to Aurix than I am. Tell him that she's a member of the Ebon's Wing. Pass it along the line.
Seamus, can't you just cast telepathic bond?
Yeah.
Also, I wrote a note
I've been
saying that
wondering.
exact thing.
Okay,
I've been wondering if you guys were going to ask.
Felix didn't see the note.
Fair.
So he's just going to be passing that up regardless.
Completely fair.
The note gets passed along, and Oryx just has a very twisted grin on his expression.
Hehehe, good.
And you see the judge about to say, well, this seems pretty ironclad. And you see Oryx like slam the desk and says, excuse, objection, Your Honor, you weren't there. Yeah,
I would have gone for the hold it rather than objection, but you know, yeah, I'm not the one playing Ace Attorney right now.
Objection, Your Honor, you weren't there. Also, I would like to bring another witness to the stand. And you just see the prosecution like, but we currently have a witness right here, and we still need more information from her. And Oryx just says, well, you know what? I think my witness is better than yours.
This is going to go well.
And you just see the prosecutor, like, visible confusion. Right. Anyway, as he just completely blanks Oryx and just says, well then, do you have any more information regarding your association with Oryx? Well, came to know him over the span of a few months, actually, after this transcribed conversation. You see, I wanted to gather as much information as I could to properly give to the courts when such a time would come that he would be facing the justice he so rightfully deserves. I have more lists of appointments that were made for our company with his name on it. And she hands more timesheets of his name. And you see, like, more of the crowd is, like, murmuring to each other. Like, maybe Aurix was a bad guy after all. Maybe you were wrong to immediately assume good. And Aurix is just, like, face-palming, and he just says, you do realise that timesheets could be forged. They could be made up. Maybe I didn't attend some of those sessions. And the judge looks to Aurix and says, did you attend any of them? And Aurix nods, yes, I attended them all.
Just looks at Aurix like, what is happening? What's going on?
Court is happening, Dairon. As he looks behind to say that to you. And then you see him, the prosecutor, just say, we have no more further questions of you for now. Thank you for your time, Miss Blackburn. And as she walks away, she winks at you guys.
Hey, Oryx? Why didn't you use the thing that we gave you?
Because you guys can say it. It's one of your turns to go up as a witness. And he starts pointing at Dairon, then at Seamus, then at Felix, and he's clearly doing eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
I will say it shouldn't be me because I killed her sisters.
And he settles on Seamus.
Oh,
Good choice.
no.
Y'all are gonna
Good
make
worst
me do
choice.
work in the roleplay section?
Yeah.
You're the bard!
Shocking. Charisma character, in fact, does not like to talk in conversations.
Amen to that.
Right.
I just before Seamus goes up, I'm just gonna whisper in his ear. Look, just make sure to mention that she's part of Evan's wing, and if they ask for evidence of that, bring up the Drake Blackburn, Layla Blackburn connection.
You do.
That-
Oryx joins in your huddle. People can share surnames.
Generally, sharing surnames is not a coincidence. Especially when they're
mean-
that distinct.
I mean, how
well,
many?
we can
like,
stick to the point that she's part of Evan's wing.
But what proof do we have of this?
What,
Only
that-
eyewitness testimony.
That her name is Layla Blackburn, or that Drake Blackburn is what? I'm confused.
That she's associated. What proof do we have that she's associated with this group?
I mean, we saw her.
I mean, the problem
We fought
is,
her.
even though eyewitness testimonies can only take us so far unless we have actual, like, evidence or enough.
Aaron,
people
didn't you
within-
loot them at some point after we beat them?
I mean, you looted the two that. I mean, if you did loot any of them, you would have looted the ones that died.
Hmm.
Look around. Is there any, like, cleric or someone who can cast Stone of Truth, or...
I mean, I can cast Stone of Truth.
Do you have it prepared?
I do.
Or is... I forget if there's, like, if there is a memory pull spell.
Oh.
Well, I'll just cast Zone of Truth, and that should work just fine. Can I just raise my hand to the judge and say,
Yeah.
I have this. I have a Zone of Truth prepared to aid in testimony if you require it.
You see the judge putting a hand to his chin. Sure, if you want to cast this on whoever's going to go up on the witness stand, you may do so.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Why couldn't you have waited till after I gave my testimony?
This will help
because
your
it's
testimony.
important for your testimony.
Yeah. This will only help your testimony. Probably.
Guess. Just don't ask me any weird questions.
We make no promises. Anyways,
No!
As you get up on the stand, Aldane
I cast Zone of
casts Zone of
Truth.
Truth. Do you resist the effects?
No.
You let it happen. As you
I
do,
have-
you feel...
Wait. Question first, out of character. Will they know that I resist it?
Aldane will know that you've, like, if the effect has failed.
Also, I would question why you would do that, since it's kind of,
Okay, then no. You wouldn't accept for shits and giggles?
No.
For the... Your Honor, we did it for the Vine. Alright, fair enough. You're free to go. Just like...
I should have done this on Layla, but whatever.
He wouldn't have consented.
As the two of them walk over, Oryx just leans into you guys and says they don't know that actually the witness stand is enchanted with an effective Zone of Truth.
That's
And how
funny.
did how is she able to lie?
No, he's saying that as you two walk over to there, so you two aren't there to hear him say this to the others.
So Aldane just wasted a spell slot for nothing, and you know. Okay, fair.
I have a question. Why was Layla able to lie then?
Good question, actually. 1 second.
Well, did she lie or
Oh,
did she just
oh.
omit parts of the truth?
Oh no, Oryx says. Is he then?
Oh no.
There's no magic on the. There's no magic on that witness stand.
Of course there isn't.
Right. Okay.
Now there is, because Aldane just passed it.
You're welcome.
So, as you're stood on the witness stand, Seamus, you cannot lie. You are, however, allowed to just not say things.
You are allowed to
Plead the
use
fifth.
exact words.
Plead the fifth.
So, the prosecutor asks you, so, please state your name and occupation.
Seamus Osaki. I am a musician, among other odd jobs.
You hear someone in the crowd just say, "Woo! Love your work, Seamus!"
Thank you, random citizen.
I love you too, random citizen.
He said he loves me! And you just see a guy pass out.
Interesting.
So, alright then. So, Seamus, what is your association with Aurix and Rua?
Oh, I don't know. He's helped us out of a few tight spots over our travels, and he's been a good friend to us.
Oh, friend, you say?
Did I say something wrong?
So, when were you made aware of Oryx's history and the criminality of his actions?
You should roll an intelligence check for this just to be sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also dumb.
Yeah, a while ago.
Hmm. Well, criminality how? Because I'll say I don't really know the laws of this land too well, so I wouldn't be able to say.
When we made aware that Oryx had killed the Duchess,
The Duchess is dead?
Who knew that?
All the
Mm,
kid is just face palming off to the side.
no, I don't know. I don't remember when I learned of it. I don't remember when I learned of it.
I see. And in the time that you had available to you, was there any reason you didn't alert any officials?
We were a little busy with other things, like trying to maintain the balance of the world and such.
And what about during your free time?
Free time wasn't really free time. It was always spent training or doing other tasks necessary for our adventure.
No,
We didn't have time to be bothered with the legal goings on
So-
of a land that we hadn't even
That's-
been in before.
So that's technically. I mean,
No?
would you guys not? Say...
Even when I was working, it was to raise money for our adventure. Even when I was doing my own thing, learn an Eldritch Blast, everything that Seamus has done
I guess,
in free time activities has
why
been towards our
Fair
adventure.
enough. I see. At any point, have any of you ever been extorted by Aurix to not tell the truth? Or to share your knowledge of who he was?
Nothing beyond him expressing his desire for certain things to remain concealed, and it was up to us whether or not we wanted to conceal it. There was one time I outed him totally accidentally when he would have preferred his real name not to be known. But he didn't think less of me for it.
Yes, I did. He doesn't say that. He doesn't say that.
Oh, I'm helping. No.
Yeah,
he
doesn't say
didn't, but
that.
I did.
I say all this to mean that yes, he would have preferred if certain things had stayed concealed, but under no means did he try to force us to conceal things about him.
I understand. I have no more further questions. Thank you for your time.
Out of character, how is that? Lawyer speak.
At this point, a recess is being called, and we are going to take a real-life break.
Why hasn't Oryx done any cross-examination of us?
He will tell you after the break.
Okay.
I'm so ready for my testimony because I'm actually going to give an accurate timeline because I noted stuff down.
Aldain has intelligence as a dump stat, so
I'm not even going to bother with the check. I don't need to. I know what order things happened in.
No, I mean, it would not be in character for him to remember that very well.
I mean,
Yeah.
Aldain isn't necessarily stupid. He's not specifically studied in
Look,
things like others may have.
in
Or
my-
like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
In my other D&D group, 2 of the other characters have intelligences of 6.
Jesus Christ. That's grog levels.
Yeah, my intelligence is 12, so at least it's not terrible, but I only get a +1. Also, Kaido, I had a question about the Ravenous Indignation upgrade.
Yeah.
I also gain the effects of Agonizing Blast, Eldritch Invocation. What does that exactly mean?
That's the invocation where you can add your charisma modifier to Eldritch Blast damage.
Really? Is there a way to put that onto my character sheet so that it does it automatically, or do I just have to remember that?
So, on the Eldritch Blast thing, where is it now? So if you go back to
cantrips.
core, go
Okay,
back to the core tab on your sheet. Where it has Eldritch Blast, if you go to the gear,
Attacks and spellcasting? Yeah,
Yeah.
this one?
where it has plus next to the 1d10, the plus blank, just add charisma. Yeah, and
Just
then
like
that should
that?
automatically. Yeah, and that's gonna automatically calculate your +4 every single time.
No.
So now you're no longer at minimum doing 1 damage with each hit. At minimum, you'll deal 5 damage.
I love that. Eldritch Blast just got better.
That's kind of the thing why warlocks. It's almost like a requirement to have agonizing blast.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah,
it's just
no
so
warlock.
good.
There's no warlock that I know of that doesn't take an agonizing blast at some point.
I love it though.
But yeah, what's it called? Yeah, it's a pretty big buff.
It's quiet. Too quiet.
Sorry, I'm preparing my testimony.
No, understandable. Again, Aldean is not the kind who would, be able to prepare testimony very well.
If you gave him a script, he could say it very eloquently.
Yes.
Being asked to prepare one himself is a different story.
Yes. Aldean is not a writer of any kind.
He's just the audiobook voice actor.
And then he saw the rolling hills, coated with luscious green grass, as they faded underneath the setting sun. Something like that.
Yeah.
West Virginia, mountain mama.
Oh god, I'm
Yeah,
gonna... I might word vomit some bad things. We'll see.
Oh god, he's gonna be sexist.
No, not on that
Your
front.
Honor,
On...
Your Honor, she's a woman. Her words shouldn't be allowed in court.
Look, I as the player barely know what people should know, let alone what Felix thinks that people should or do actually know. So yeah.
Your Honor, I don't like you. Can we get a new judge? Yeah, I actually can't find a spell that lets you check memories.
But
You know that doesn't exist.
Probably because I mean, enchantment is already creepy and
That's
unnerving with how some of it can be used. Or there might be, and I just haven't seen it on the list.
Eh.
Your Honor, I cast Planar Ally. He's going to speak on my character.
That would be funny.
I mean, just searching memory in 5e tools, the only spell that comes up is Modify Memory.
Yeah.
Which is obviously, not really what we want.
No.
I mean, there's Detect Thoughts, but
Yeah.
that's more like what they're immediately thinking.
No thoughts, head empty. Only memes.
Your Honor, the witness is now a sheep because I just cast Polymorph. They're completely unreliable now. Your Honor, I cast Meteor Swarm.
That would go well.
Oh boy.
Your Honor, I cast Feeble Mind on the witness. They are now unreliable.
Your Honor, now that I've cast Feeble Mind, I would like the witness to restate their testimony, and if they cannot, it'd be stricken from the record.
I
Hey.
would like their testimonies to be updated.
Okay. Oh yeah, we stole a ton of gold from the Tarask cult, didn't we?
Yeah.
We did.
That's not stealing if you steal from evil cults, is it?
I mean, you could. There's an argument to be made that it's reappropriation of already stolen funds.
Hmm.
Yeah. See, not stealing. Totally
'Cause
legit.
it's not as if the cult probably obtained that money through legitimate means.
Exactly.
I hope you're having a good time with the session, by the way.
Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Also, the prosecutor's meant to be more of a Godot reference.
Hmm.
Because
Sounds about right.
Godot in Japanese is actually named after like a dragon, just like Phoenix is as well in Japanese. Because, you know, they're a dragonborn, Oryx is basically a dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Just seeing if there's any other information I can add from my notes, or if it's just that stuff. I mean, look, there's always going to be stuff I can add. It's just whether it's going to be relevant.
So true.
Also, Jack, when I was first writing names down of the rest of the party, I badly misspelled Aldane.
I'm not shocked.
I like the idea that Felix doesn't know how to spell his name because it's never come up before.
In my defense, you often pronounce it as Aldean, which made me think.
That's how it's pronounced.
Well, I made me think there's a Y in it.
I constantly flip flopping how I pronounce Darren's name.
Yeah, in fairness, like, Aldane probably should be spelled with an accented E to kind of, you know, more illustrate that it is a separation of syllables. Or an
I mean,
accented
it's not
E or like a
it's not-
punctuation.
It's not like most people write the accent on cafe
Mm.
or Pokemon. I actually have new music as well.
Hmm.
When the break is over, though.
Are we waiting for anybody?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna run to the bathroom real quick, but then I'm ready to start.
Same. I'm gonna join you, Seamus.
Alright.
Let's
I'll
cross
wait you-
streams.
Yeah, boy. I'll actually be right back, though.
Okay, while Kaido's not here, depending on how my testimony goes, I might reveal the whole Eben is in control of Black Rain thing.
I mean, at this point, does it matter?
I don't
We're about to
know.
come to a head on that anyway.
I'm wondering if I should roll like a wisdom check to see if Felix realizes that maybe it's not the best idea to mention it, or, you know, maybe she should ask, say, Rua or Aurix whether it would be good to mention that or not.
Probably a good idea to do that during a recess.
Yeah. Fuck it. Okay, he's wise enough to realize that there should probably be some, you know, whatchamacallit,
Discussion
about this, yeah. Because, yeah, I honestly, again, I as a player have absolutely no idea whether this is information that can be shared openly. And, you know, if I don't know, if me as the player doesn't know, Felix as the character probably doesn't know either.
Felix doesn't know what?
Whether the information that Eben is the true ruler of Black Rain is information that can or should be shared.
I mean, you're in recess, so we can discuss that in the recess.
That was what I was going to do.
Which we can do right now if you want, if we're all ready to continue the session.
I don't know if my brother's back yet.
Oh.
But yeah, that was what the wisdom check was for. Whether Felix was you know, wise enough to realize that maybe he should get a second opinion on this.
I mean, just Aurix and Rua are both there.
That's who I was going to ask.
Are we all back?
Yeah.
Dylan?
Yeah, I'm here.
Again?
Yeah.
Alright then, so... Yes, there's the new song. So, Aurix just says, so...
Is there a new song?
Oh yeah, I didn't post it in music. I'm something of a fucking idiot myself. There you go.
I was like,
Am I still on the
didn't
witness
get
stand, or am I done with that now?
I didn't get the dot
Am I
on
gonna get called back?
I didn't get the dot on the server,
that?
so I was like, is there?
What was that, Dylan?
Am I gonna get called back to the witness stand, or am I done?
You're done.
Good.
Yeah, so Aurix is just sort of like going through notes and just...
Rua, Aurix, just a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be bad if I mentioned that Eben is the true ruler of Black Rain?
This is Aurix speaking. The problem is, even though people kind of know that the Ebony Imperium is where the true ruling of Black Rain happens, actually citing someone as the ruler would be problematic. Especially if, you know, that would mean this terrorist group happens to be actually leading the country. That would cause a lot of problems. You know, it could mean
A
Black
diplomatic
Rain,
incident, one might say.
yes, Black Rain might decide to make reprisals. Although they would have to... The thing is, if anything happened to people who made such a claim, one, people would ask how you found that out. Two, people would ask, why haven't you shared this sooner? Three, it would just be a generally awkward time for everyone involved.
Okay, so don't mention it. Okay, I will...
I mean, you can if you want, just make sure to back it up with enough evidence that they cannot refute it.
what evidence do we have physically of this?
Not much. Actually, let's.
Your Honor, it came to me in a dream. It was stated in Can't Fear Your Own World. Hmm.
Might be surprised.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we have all those. We have the project stuff that we took back.
I mean, to be fair, we could probably just use that as evidence of the of Evan Wing's ties to the government. We don't need to say that Evan Wing is in control of the government.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Better to make a simpler assertion than to make the more audacious one.
Hmm. Right. The laboratory diary was called Harask stuff, not Evan's Wing. Okay. But we still got 5, 12, 9, 24, 9, 18. That's got a lot of stuff.
True.
That was from Black Rain, right?
Yeah.
That was the stuff out of character that you found before Aurix, just before meeting him proper.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to present that as evidence, go for it. I'm on your side. Aurix says.
I mean, I'm just
The
looking
weird
at.
thing is, this is technically more of a thing about me. You guys are just here to help exonerate me.
Hmm.
Well, we can use that as evidence to say, hey, they're backed by the government, and this person who gave testimony against you is an agent of theirs.
Did we kill
Go for it, then.
a person called Taika?
Yes.
That was the out of character. That was the high elf. That was the high elf sister of
Right.
Layla and Drake.
Okay.
Pretty sure she got brought back at least once.
No, that was Gertrude.
Gatilda?
Gertrude.
Okay.
Gatilda was there because they didn't bother remembering her name.
Yeah. Right.
That's the Gertilda because it was deliberately missaid. It's
Fair
actually
enough.
Gertrude.
Okay.
That's just how little they meant.
Mm-hmm.
That was to illustrate that they don't give a fuck about the kids who aren't Drake.
I'm sure the rest of the kids aren't resentful at all.
Who knows? None of them have to deal with the horror of being used as a vessel for an evil dragon king.
Yeah, it's shit either way, I guess.
Yeah. So, do you think you guys are ready to jump back into the court? Aurix says to you
Who's
guys.
Rainier?
So,
Oh, Oryx.
Rainier
Why
is
did
Testament's surname.
Okay.
Why did you cross-examine any of the witnesses so far?
Good question. I didn't feel like I needed to. I'll be completely honest. Most of that information, most of the words out of character, most of that evidence was forged anyway, and I intend to prove it was forged.
Okay.
Honestly, you could probably just aim for a mistrial at this point with the amount of forged evidence.
I mean, well,
I'm just gonna recharge my spell slot while I'm here, so I can use Zone of Truth again.
you know what? How about you have this? And he underhands you like this pearl. Crush
What's
it.
this?
It's a pearl of
What?
power.
What does it do?
You can crush it, and you regain up to a what's the word? You can use it to regain an expended spell slot. But if it's higher than 4th level, it's a 3rd level slot instead, like a new one. Not
Well,
permanent.
I only have up to 3rd level spells, so that works just fine.
Yeah, you'll need to attune to it, but that doesn't take too long.
How long
Think
does it
of it-
take?
Think of it as a down payment for being such great friends.
How long does attunement take on this thing?
10 minutes, isn't it?
Okay.
Let me see. Oh, short rest. So, no, longer.
Oh, I'll just hold on to it for later. Could you, out of character, could you put the details for that in the
Just,
thing?
you should be able to find it in the compendium on Roll20, Pearl of Power.
Pearl of Power, okay.
Yeah, and then just drag it into your character sheet.
Will do. There it is. Excellent. Okay. I'm ready.
Yeah, it's an hour for a short rest.
I
So,
don't have that kind of time. I'll just use my basic recharge.
as recess ends, Felix is called up to the witness stand. So, please state your name and occupation.
My name is Felix Asparis, generally known as Felix, and I am a painter/adventurer.
Understood. What is your relationship with Aurix?
I mean, right now he's our lawyer, but he's also his own lawyer, which I've heard is very bad, but he seems to be making it work.
I'm glad you noticed, Felix.
Oh yeah, I'm zone of truthing right now, by the way.
Is anything I said untrue?
No, of course not. I'm just saying it for like.
Yeah.
No, Felix
Okay.
is the epitome of truthfulness.
When did you come to know about Oryx's history in regards to his criminality?
So I believe we first, I think we all heard about this. We first heard about it after we came back from Colodnia Pole. We had to kill an ancient white dragon. That was a whole thing. I'm fairly sure I misspelled his name at first, but yeah, I'm fairly sure I heard about it then. Then we fully heard about it when we teleported out of Blackrain and landed in his house. That was a whole time. We had to escape a guy called Eben. You know him?
No.
Well, he's a very bad dude. He was well situated, let's put it that way. And he was, yeah.
Let us not distract from the main part of the case, shall we?
Sure. You asked for this information, though.
Go on then.
So, I mean, the Blackrain trip is important because that's also when we first met Aurix in person, though at that point we thought he was called Xylosian. We were on our way to Blackrain when we came across him in some port town. I thought he was Drake Blackburn, couldn't have been more wrong on that front. Drake Blackburn is who the Ebon's Wing are searching for, because he's that lost sibling kind of deal. I think their last name is Blackburn. Like they're members of the Evans Wing.
I see. What does this have to do with Oryx exactly?
Like I said, that's how we met Oryx for the first time. I think I played Mahjong
Right.
with him as well. Isn't that right, Oryx?
We did.
Yeah. I cleaned up.
You did.
He cleaned up.
Right. And in the time that you had come to know him, is there a reason you did not alert any authorities?
I kinda didn't see the point.
Because?
He's a big, strong dragon. What were we gonna do to stop him? We had to flee from the last dragon.
Well, if he did attempt to attack you, we would have put you in protection.
Yeah, but we kind of have a thing going on right now that we kind of, need to be out and about. That's really, really important. I told you, big dragon, big scary dragon, trying to take over the world, I think.
Right. I did look over the dossiers I was provided of you.
Yeah,
And yes, I am aware of
we have
the-
been told by gods and stuff that we're the only people who can put a stop to this, which is, oh boy, a lot of pressure. But yeah, I think we're handling it well. Aren't we handling it well, guys?
Yeah, I think so. Probably.
I mean, look, we got most of the Dracolich pieces at this point. I think we're doing all right.
True, you are. And I assume that is why you came to Siltanark?
Yes.
Right.
Pretty much the last piece we can get easily.
Before you then go into Black Crane, yes?
Yeah, we're gonna have to go there. It's not gonna be fun. Our last trip to
My
Black Rim
crap.
was also really not fun. Did I mention the big scary dragon?
Yes, you did.
Okay, good. I just wanted to really get that out there.
What kind of dragon?
Black dragon. I think did he say he was an ancient black dragon? He might have said he was an ancient black dragon.
I'm
When
not
you-
sure alright, but he definitely implied it.
When you say that, the whole, courtroom is, deathly silent.
Oh no. Did I say it bad? Out of character I'm saying that, not in character, but
He
Did
looks
I
at
make
you
a
with widened
fucking-
eyes. Are you
Wait, what?
implying that the ancient black dragon is domain is within Black Rain?
I mean, I guess he was certainly there.
And where did you meet this ancient black dragon?
Ebony Imperium, if I remember correctly. Is that why he's called Eben? Oh man, this is crazy stuff.
Amongst the crowd of the jury, you notice a bronze dragonborn. Very regal features. In fact, you feel like you recognize this person.
I'm gonna
Get
do
up.
what should I
And-
check to see if I recognize them?
Intelligence.
Damn it. Fuck.
I have any better odds?
You recognize them, Felix? You recognize them, Dairon? Do you recognize them, Seamus?
Let me see.
Or is Seamus too busy tending to his one fan?
All of you but Aldane recognizes him. This was it's suspiciously similar to the prince.
We met the prince?
Yeah,
At the
during the
neutral
summit.
point during the summit, yeah.
Can I get to an insight check?
Their vibe, what their vibe is.
What's the? Yeah, can I get a sense of
Yeah, all of you can if you want.
do a
Sure.
a cold read?
Let me just
Oh,
Aldane's locking in again.
let me just clarify something. Is the ruler of Siltanok a prince?
No.
Okay, so this is not Olathyakin. Or is it?
It looks like them,
Right.
but you don't know if that's because dragons can polymorph.
Right. Wait, was Olathyakin the one we met at the... Did the king not
Yeah,
go
it
to the
was.
neutral point?
The king didn't go.
Oh, okay. I've been operating on completely misunderstood.
Yeah, the actual
assumption.
rulers of the country did not go to the neutral point during the summit.
Oh,
In fact, they were the only ones who didn't go.
Rua was the only Rua. The
Well,
queen
yeah,
of Central
Rua-
Bovetman,
Bovetman,
the leader of Tenoyama, Koloniapol, and then the fake leader of Black Raid.
Yeah, they all went.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I can work with that. Okay.
Yeah. So, from what you can tell, Aldain and Dairon, they seem to have heard everything they needed to. They're probably going to report this. As they leave,
I nudge Aurix and point his motion over.
I recognize who that is. Don't worry.
They're heading out. Is that
Everyone
bad,
in
or-
the room recognizes them.
Yeah, I
Because
know.
you
but-
actually, as they leave, you actually notice the judge slam their gavel and just say, in light of recent information, and they are looking actually at the door that is now shut behind Olafukin, we are going to make a temporary pause on this trial. Everyone is free to go.
I just offer a questioning thumbs up to Aurix.
He gives you all a big, shit-eating grin.
Yes.
And so, as you are all allowed to go, you are currently in the lobby of the courtroom of the building, and you just see Aurix praying, oh my god, well, oh gods, that was perfect, Felix.
Thank
How
you.
would you like to be an understudy after all this is over for me?
You know, it might be fun. You know, I had fun there. Are all trials this fun?
No.
Oh, okay. Can I sketch during a trial?
There's usually someone already doing sketches and transcribing what was said.
I'd do that instead.
No.
Oh. We'll see. We'll see how much free time we have after we save the world, you know.
True. But yes. I chose not to mention this so it didn't influence the trial, but usually Olafukin will actually preside in a lot of these court cases.
You know, I almost didn't recognize him.
I mean, that's the point. He generally tends to blend in.
Mm,
Most people of the country know what he looks like because they've been around him for so long.
mm.
Yeah, nice job, everyone. You all did fantastic.
Thanks.
Does that mean we can leave and go deal with the Dracolich piece now, or do we have to stick around for a bit longer?
You're gonna need to talk to the king anyway. At least the leader to figure out what's.
Speaking of, you see Aurix look past you guys, and you see a kobold run over to you guys and just one sec. Fuck.
Do you need a drink? Some water?
It's okay. It's okay. So, you... the king and queen have asked me to take you to the castle so you can speak with them.
And there it is.
Allow me to lead you. And so, the kobold leads you through the city, and it isn't long before you find yourself at the hallway of the castle. The castle itself is fucking massive. I mean, it would have to be, because generally, the king and queen are dragons. Maybe they want to be a dragon, full-sized in the castle. And so it is ginormous, trying to think of a good way to describe the size. Just imagine a dragon being able to walk through the hallways. And so, as you're led inside, you see a female-looking dragonborn sat on a throne, and a bronze-looking dragonborn sat in the one beside her. You see Alafukin stood by his father, and the male dragonborn, the one in the throne, gestures for you to approach.
Will do so.
So, I believe you are the heroes that have been traveling the lands, dealing with these fragments of a Dracolich. Yes.
Yes.
The Nameless Guard at your service.
He gives a slight nod of acknowledgement at the name. So, I take it to have come to free us of the Dracolich peace. that has
Indeed.
infested our land. Hmm.
Yes.
Eventually, we'll back at some point to go talk to Seiryu, but that's a different matter for a different day.
Are you aware of the creature that has taken hold of the Dracolich piece?
No, we don't have much information of the goings on in this nation.
You know what they are. You know what the creature was.
Do we?
Oh, we do?
Give me an intelligence check to see if you remember.
God damn it. Oh my god, I actually remember this time.
You don't actually. Is what I would say if you rolled any lower. But you did. You rolled a good number, so you don't forget.
Seamus is not paying
Meanwhile-
attention.
Seamus,
Which
you
makes
see,
sense.
you see a really good-looking dragonborn lady.
Hey. I could.
But would you?
You don't remember either, Dairon.
Yep, that's
it is
fair.
a Bahia.
Mmm.
Can we
Not
do
know
some
is
sort of
that
check to
with
know
that
what
kind.
that is?
Well, you don't need to, because the king is going to explain.
Fair enough.
For those of you who don't know, Bahias are monstrous creatures, similar to a long crocodile, generally blue in colour. They tend to access caves and deep pits. With their multiple legs, usually in the dozens, allowing them to traverse multiple kinds of terrain. Storm Giants originally created the Bahias to be weapons against us, and they tend to possess a natural hatred for dragonkind. Generally, Bahias will attack dragons on sight. But if the dragon is too strong, the Bahia will back down. Of course, as we are ancient dragons, the Bahia does not wish to attack us, or at least has not had the desire to do so yet. We have sent search parties to the entrance of the Underdark where it resides, and so far, only a few number of our search parties have returned alive.
I look at Rua, just say, I'm just gonna bring this up because it's important. You are aware that one of the witnesses on today's trial is in fact an agent for Abbott, correct?
My son informed me as such, yes.
So long as you are aware.
We will allow them to continue what they are doing for now. If only because we do not wish to show our hand.
Understandable. So you're planning on feeding the mole, huh?
Yes, more or less. We have made sure to up our security in areas that we believe to be more... what's the word? More easier to exploit. Not only that, but being a ancient dragon is pretty good security for your own country.
Yeah,
Having food is
I
even
would
better
imagine so.
security. He gives a small smile. Is there any information you would like to ask of us?
Do you know the rough map coordinates of where we might find this Bahir?
He gestures to his son, who then lays out basically this map you would be seeing. So, on this map, we have found the entrance of the Underdark to be roughly here, and he places an X on the map where it is located. Let me find a good colour that contrasts. It is around here. Oh,
Alright, so we're gonna have to go a bit north.
indeed.
It's gonna be cold.
It's moved then. Or am I
It's not
reading
directly in the
things wrong?
mountains.
'Cause I have it noted down that the Siltanok piece is in the top left corner.
I might have just changed it a while ago.
I mean, I guess
You...
it could be seen as top left.
I mean, it's... You could ask, you could even mention that if you want, because that does seem interesting that it's moved.
Yeah, it's fine.
It is attached to a living being,
I will-
so of
I
course
will-
it has
I-
the possibility of moving.
You do actually see, the Queen actually speaks up and says, "We'd been tracking the Bahir for a while, as, to our recollection, this was a Bahir that had already passed away. In fact, it was the Bahir that Akra Evera himself had killed.
So it's a zombie Bahir then, possibly.
We believe so, yes. According to our information, the Bahir has already possessed a dead being anyway. The pharaoh that had long since passed in Pahala.
Mm.
So, we aren't sure exactly what is going to happen with this Bahir, but it seems to have moved at some point. Maybe it was driven away by a greater predator.
That's a
What we
scary
do-
thought.
What we do know, well, Bahirs generally, as my husband said, will avoid fights with stronger dragons than itself.
Mm.
We know vaguely where most of the other ancient dragons exist. We always knew that the ancient black dragon existed in Black Rain, but we didn't know roughly until today.
Oh, by the way, the white dragon is dead.
Yes, we know. Thank you, though. We were
Thank
never
you.
on speaking terms with the Ancient Whites. Not out of choice, we just didn't find ourselves going there anytime soon.
It was an unfortunate consequence of necessity.
For the longest time, we haven't seen the ancient blue or green dragon. And there hasn't been an ancient gold dragon sighted in over a millennia. Of course, I believe you're aware of the actual... How do I describe this? You are aware that this isn't the only continent on the planet, don't you?
Yeah,
Yes.
we learned that a little while back.
Well, during that, well, we do know that at least one of the other ancients resides in the continent of the sea, and there is at least two within the continent of the sky.
Surprising.
How many of the ancients are metallics?
Well, let's see.
We know what happened to one of the golds, clearly.
Oh, the Duchess wasn't actually an ancient dragon. She was considered an adult. But there is generally a dragon for metallics anyway. There is a there is a brass, bronze, copper, gold, and silver dragon.
One of each then, besides gold.
There's 5. I mean, I'm just describing the colors that they possess. That we know are actually alive. Well, unless there are other silver or brass dragons, bronze dragons. Sorry, unless there are other brass or bronze dragons, we are the words. Unless there are other silver or bronze dragons, we are the ancients of them. We know that the ancient gold dragon is alive, but we do not where they reside.
And the last two?
I do not know.
Fair enough.
We would have asked Pludral, but they have been extremely silent for a long time now. Pludral always knew where his children resided.
That name sounds really familiar to me.
Oh, it's because I've been reading a book on it, I think. Yeah.
Give me a religion check, Dairon, if you are that curious. Or any of you.
May not be proficient, but I still got a good roll on it.
She is.
He was
really-
just not paying attention at all.
He's
I imagine-
daydreaming.
I don't know. Maybe Seamus is just thinking about what's been going on. It's up to you.
Seamus is no thoughts, head empty.
I mean, well, Pludral is known as the god of balance. They are also known as the god of dragons. Dairon, you remember a while ago hearing the name, a moniker for the god of balance, known as... There we go. That is actually not because they are two-faced in the metaphorical sense. Pludral is known as the two-faced dragon because they literally have two faces. One part of their jaw is one face, and the other half of their jaw is another face. And
Also, like Two-Face from Batman.
Well, it's not like... Because they actually have 4 eyes, generally.
Oh.
Ryomen Sukuna.
You actually see a... I'm trying to think of how best to describe it. Like, I guess if I go on
Like the moon
page,
and sun thing?
like... oh. And then... That's... terrible drawing, but this is fine. And then, that... Let me share my screen really quick. There you go. Are you all looking?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, like, imagine this. So it's like actually two different eyes, like on both sides of the face, and the head is generally sideways, or I guess like this, because this is how their head looks.
Huh.
It's like it's not like, you know, Two-Face, like from Batman. It is actually like they have basically two faces, like two upper jaws.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm gonna don't save. Yeah, there you go. But yes, we haven't heard anything from Pludral in a long time. It is actually rather unnerving.
I mean, one of the Seiryu also hasn't mentioned anything. Is that something we should be concerned about?
Seiryu is an interesting case because Seiryu was a kobold in origin. They did ascend to becoming a dragon, but it wasn't through. Well, we don't actually know the means because we haven't spoken to Seiryu. Not because we don't care for Seiryu, it's more that. How do we describe it? They just haven't bothered to associate with us more than anything. So we decided to respect their privacy.
Fair enough.
To call Seiryu the ancient blue dragon, though, would be incorrect. Unless, of course, Seiryu killed the ancient blue dragon, or the ancient blue dragon had died and another one took its place. That's not to say that more than one ancient of a dragon colour can't exist in this at the same time. It is just that if you're public about it, or people know you are the ancient dragon of a particular colour, people will know you to be that. In the 2,000 years since I became the ancient silver dragon, for example, no one else has laid claim to such a thing. No one has lived long enough to become an ancient, for one. And it's not. I wouldn't mind coexisting with another ancient silver dragon.
How old does one have to become an ancient?
That is a good question. It is. Well, for one thing, we age infinitely slower than you would. And, well, it would. There isn't exactly necessarily a age factor. You could be technically considered one because you're already strong enough to have reached that power in the time it would have taken naturally. Aurix, for example, could easily make a claim that he's the ancient gold dragon, or one of them. Aurix doesn't actually say anything though in response to that. He's just got his arms crossed as he's like listening. Is there anything else you wish to know? We'll give you all the information we can regarding whatever you would like.
What do you know of Eben?
We know that him and his brother were both eggs that hatched at the same time, according to the legend lore spell that we used at one point. But it seems as if the ideals split off eventually. As it seems like Eben, or whatever his original name was, outlived his sibling.
I believe his sibling is the source of the Dracolich pieces.
That would make sense. From what we know, they both had excellent magical potential and talent, so I'm not terribly surprised. If we could ask you a question, what's it been like exploring the domains of the Dracolich pieces?
Exhausting.
Do the rest of you agree with Dairon's assertion?
Yeah, that is almost certainly the best description of it.
Couldn't think of a better way to say it.
Traumatizing?
Also that.
What is it like wielding one of those pieces, those fragments?
Hmm.
A
It's-
little awkward sometimes, depending on, who we're talking to.
To be honest, I haven't used mine all that much. I've tried to avoid it.
The rest of you?
I haven't really had an opportunity to fly anywhere.
Oh, it allows you to fly?
Yeah, for a little bit.
Interesting.
Wanna see?
It's fine. I'll take you at your word. Hmm. The two dragons look as if they're in thought. Is there... I guess that's it. If it was possible, we would send someone or some people to assist you in travelling through the Underdark. However, as things are, we are struggling at the moment. With what has been going on, creatures have been displaced from the Underdark. And so we are sending our people out to combat these creatures. We've already dealt with a few mind flayers, and have had to fight them off so far.
Have you spotted a bone claw yet? They seem to appear a lot around these pieces.
Yes, we have, in fact. If it's the same bone claw, we've already killed it about 4 times.
Rua, watch
One of-
out!
He just looked at you, completely nonplussed. You know what, Felix? I hope both sides of the pillow are warm.
I don't sleep with a pillow.
Oh yeah, I forget you don't trance like I do. I'm so used to just trancing in a bed like people do when they sleep. I always forget that isn't the norm for elves. I hope your next noodles that you consume aren't cooked fully, and so that
How?
unusually, and so they're not soft and chewy like they should be. They're actually slightly crunchy.
How dare you? No, actually, al dente is not bad.
Anyway, the Queen actually does adjust herself in her seat to sit up a bit more and just says, "For now, you are free to rest in some accommodations that we've prepared for you. Once you've done that, you can set out as soon as possible, if that would be alright with you."
Sure.
Accommodations
have people-
are appreciated.
We have people waiting by the entrance of the Underdark who'll be able to guide you to the entrance and provide you sufficient lighting tools to navigate through without needing to rely purely on dark vision. If there's anything else you would specifically like to require from us, we will do our best to accommodate for you.
Much obliged.
If you have anything else you need to ask, feel free to come and visit us. For now, though, we need to prepare for potential war.
Hmm.
After all, I can only imagine that the group from Black Rain will attempt to, either take the pieces from you or will be ready to fight when you decide to go there. We will do our best to help you when that time is to come.
That was appreciated.
Until then, I hope you have a pleasant day, and we apologize for the court case. We had to do it so that people watching us believed that we were willing to not be biased.
And
also, it
I
was
had
the
a lot
best
of fun.
opportunity. In this way, it was a good opportunity and justification for information being exposed to the public.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, it's
After
fine. I
all-
had a lot of fun.
As for you, the king then steps in as he looks at Aurix. And Aurix just sheepishly shrugs. And the king just says, given the current circumstances, we are removing the bounty that has been placed on you. While the Dracolich and Black Rain as a whole continues to be a problem, you'll no longer be considered a fugitive. However, once the problem has been dealt with, however, we will decide whether to continue considering you an enemy of our country. Aurix gives a very deep and polite bow. Well, that is extremely magnanimous of you. I will do my best to not betray your faith in me and my friends. The two monarchs nod their heads, and yeah, unless you have anything else to say.
No.
The queen actually gestures to their son and just says, our child here will lead you to your accommodations.
Lead away.
So, as he leads you out, you actually see Aurix exhale extremely deeply, as if he's very relieved.
Good for you. You managed to avoid the death penalty.
Yeah, for now.
I mean, aren't we all just avoiding death for now?
Guess. I'm drained.
I mean, these guys have only got a few decades left. I made myself
Hey.
bad.
As you're walking down, you see loads of people looking at you. For every 14 lizard folk and kobolds, you're seeing one person of another race. Surprisingly enough, dwarves are some of the most common non-scalies that you're seeing.
Non-scalies? That sounds pretty racist, dude.
Yeah. But yeah, and you just get quite a few eyes staring at you, especially because you're walking with their prince. He does actually say, I would have actually liked to have joined you guys, but unfortunately I'm being called elsewhere. So I guess the most I can do is lead you to your rooms.
Don't worry about it. Dracolich pieces can put a lot of stress on everybody.
I had a near mental breakdown my first time.
They're not fun.
I mean, Pahala was in real trouble. Oh boy.
That was that was the nightmare. That was a true apocalypse.
I
Yep.
heard. It was horrifying.
It was definitely something.
My only wonder is, why would the Dracolich piece possess a Bahia?
Yeah.
Did it do it to taunt the Bahia, considering that they're natural enemies?
One thing that we've learned from these Dracolich pieces is that they don't necessarily care about what it is that they're.
I don't give a fuck about what makes sense.
They care about finding something that aligns to the emotional core of the piece. And finding the right way to destabilize an area using that want.
So,
Fair
for
enough.
example, my cloak came from a, what was it, dragon turtle that really just didn't want to do anything.
I
And
see.
mine was a human girl who felt so isolated and alone.
And of course, mine was from a white dragon consumed by vengeance and rage.
Mine was from Mind Flayer.
Very lonely one. Just wanted friends.
Yeah. Wanted friends, but kept, eating their brains.
Mind flaying
Accidentally.
them, yes.
Or purposefully. I can't really even tell which, but,
Point is that the Dracolich pieces tend to not care so much about it, what they're invading.
Right. It seems like it's given him a lot of food for thought. And so he leads you to your the inn you're staying at. It looks fairly humble. It doesn't look too lavish, surprisingly enough. It looks nice, but it doesn't look like, it doesn't look high class.
That's fine.
They should know who you are when you go inside. I hope you have a pleasant stay in Siltanark. I wish you could have come under more pleasant circumstances.
Same here.
And so as they leave you alone, do you check in immediately?
Yep.
Because I will say, it took hours as well dealing with the court stuff, there was quite a bit of time, beforehand, the setup. It was, the court, the proceedings itself took a while. Waiting for the, what's it called? The witnesses to be brought on, the time that you had, in the break. So it is getting somewhat late in the day. It basically consumed your entire day. Aurix actually looks at you and says, now that you're here, I'm going to be doing some preparation work. If you need me, don't be afraid to send me a sending. I'll come as soon as possible. But I won't be
Appreciate
going. I won't be going with you though into the Dracolich domain.
Absolutely fair.
It's more the fact that it's the Underdark, and a lot of my spells are spells that have a wider range and like area of effect.
Understandable.
I'd rather not do anything that might cause a cave in as well. And so, you see Aurix form a pair of wings on his back, and he takes flight, and leaves you there with Rua. The 5 of you there.
This is gonna be a rough one, isn't it?
Oh, almost certainly.
Probably. I think I'm gonna check in.
I'm gonna write a song to
Yeah.
make myself feel better.
Felix Aldane, do you... Oh, and Seamus, do you also check in?
Yeah.
Yes.
Might as well.
As you go inside, you go to the counter, and you're all given separate keys. You all have separate rooms.
That's nice.
Inside the rooms, you've got like your bed, I mean, well, think of it this way. It looks nicer than your actual house bedrooms look. But that's the low bar.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, do you when you set foot inside though, you do feel like, you know, you're actually allowed a bit of time to just rest and relax, you know, before you set out. Do you, Aldane, because I know you have your Pearl of Power, do you take time to attune to that?
Yep.
Do the rest of you do anything in particular? Or do you just decide to, like, wind down?
I think probably wind
I'm-
down for Felix.
I'll like go get a drink, but nothing too crazy.
Okay. Seamus?
Sorry, remind me what we're doing?
Are you gonna wind down? Now that you're in your room?
I mean, yeah. Yeah, basically just gonna be sitting down and putting some of my daydream thoughts on paper for future songs and stuff. Because, you know, I had a lot of time to daydream in court.
Right. Well, God, fucking loud bikes. As you decide to daydream, Daron, are you sat at the bar drinking?
Yeah.
As you sit at the bar, you notice as you look around, it's pretty quiet. There's not a lot of people in. And you're just sort of left to your own thoughts. Until...
And Oh, go on.
I was just going to say, as you're sort of there alone, you notice someone chooses to sit next to you. It's been a long time, Daron.
Yeah, it has, hasn't it? I'm guessing this is Layla.
No. It's not Layla, actually. It's someone from your past. You only just barely noticed them. After all, they were the ones to teach you most of your skills.
Keep.
I'll DM it you. So,
Doing here? What are you doing here? Well, do I know? Like, does he have a? Do they have an alias that we use like outside?
they actually say to you, you can call me whatever you like. After all, you're not part of the gang anymore, are you?
Seems like you aren't either.
I am. I'm just on a... what's the word? Annual leave.
Yeah, sure you are.
I am.
Helping out with the cult.
There is a reason for that, and I can tell you if you want.
Bro, we've done this game how many times? You tell me something, it's for the greater good. Blah blah blah, people die.
They saved my life over a decade ago. Before I became Throne, I was a humble merchant. And I had a family, actually. My wife was pregnant. And we were attacked on the road. The cults actually came and saved us. My wife was going into labor, however, and because of the wounds she suffered, she died giving birth to my child.
Have I heard this story before?
No. In exchange for passage to the nearest settlement, I said that I would do anything I could to repay the favour. And so they told me that maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not even for several years, but eventually they would come to me and ask me for my services. And they did. And so they asked me to join one of the black market gangs of Beauvais, and I did. And they even trained me. And in the end, I would have to give them whatever information or assistance they would need when the time came. And so I have been. I don't expect you to agree or be willing to forgive or forget.
Is Barkeep okay?
They nearly quit, actually, when you left.
I think at that moment, Dyron closes their eyes and, like, is just very, like, doing their absolute best to control their emotions.
I'm telling you this out of a courtesy. Colgan, the person who cut off Rua's arm, is in the Underdark. Him and a squadron of some of his best people are in there trying to find that Dracolich piece.
Okay.
If you come across them, I ask you to run away.
Throne, we are all aiming for the pieces.
I've
Whatever
never
happens.
been... Sorry, go ahead again.
Out of professional courtesy and as thanks, if we run into each other down there,
I'm not part of the group that's going down there.
well,
I wanted to tell you this because the next time we meet, it will be as enemies.
I know. And
I don't want to fight you, Dairon, if we're being honest. But I'm a man of my word. I told them that I would do whatever they asked for. And I'm still needing to do that.
If I'm honest, Throne, I respected you. A lot. You were never barkeep. You never... It wasn't the same as with barkeep. But if the time comes and we do face each other, I will make sure to give everything I have.
And if we're being honest, Aaron, I didn't respect you. I didn't dislike you.
I know.
But when you left, that was the day I started to respect you. And hearing your accolades, hearing how you thrived leaving the gang, I think it was the best thing that you did. In regards to Colgan, though, I have never found myself afraid of fighting people. But I was scared the one time I sparred with Colgan. I would sooner piss off the Queen before I pissed off him.
We've met.
I know. Which is why I'm suggesting you don't meet him a second time. If you can help it. Easier said than done, I know.
You know as well as I do that that's not happening.
I know. And you watch as Throne gets up from their seat. By the way, Kraos said hi, and she hoped you're doing well.
Sorry, one more time?
Kraos asked how you're doing and hoped you're doing well.
Dairon... I think this has been a very hard conversation where Dairon is very much just doing their best to not say, to not break in a way. I want to say.
I get you.
And would you? What would I have to roll to
Wisdom. To compose yourself, yeah.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
That's not going to go well.
You know what? I
Welcome
actually
to
think
the Nat 1 Club.
narratively, that's excellent.
Mm.
No, I think that's actually Dairon had been trying their best to hold back so much emotion the entire time that final knife just their lip quivers and
sorry.
I think if the others were there, they would have been afraid that I would have attacked someone because I was so on edge.
You watch as Throne gets up and leaves. And so,
And I think as Throne does leave, you just hear a rack, a sob.
So, as that happens, Felix,
Yes.
as you're like probably drawing away or just, relaxing, you're doing it in your room, right?
Yep.
You hear something hit your window.
I will go to the window and first look at it and then through it.
As you look through your window, how do I describe this? I'm trying to think. You look at what hit your window, and it's actually on the edge of the window outside. Like it didn't fall down to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mahjong tile.
I will carefully open the window and retrieve the mahjong tile.
You look at the mahjong tile. Yeah, it's a mahjong tile.
Is it a particular mahjong tile?
I'm a like a dragon player. I don't know how to play mahjong.
Right.
That's-
I mean, I probably wouldn't have known even if you had given me a fucking name, but I had to ask the question.
It's the red dragon. If you know what that piece is, good for you.
Mm.
Yeah, it's the red dragon tile.
Gonna just stick my head out the window and look to see if the person or thing that threw the tile is gonna make itself apparent. Maybe.
You look out the window and you see down an alleyway what looks like mist was there, like some sort of mist or fog. It seems to be receding away, like as if the vapors are vanishing.
What floor are we on?
You're on so this is only a 2-story building and you're on the upper floor.
Right. Ah, fuck it. We're gonna rest after this. I'm gonna misty step down.
As you misty step down, do you go in the direction of the alley?
Yeah.
You don't see anyone down there.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to the inn, Daron, I need help tracking somebody. Oh. Okay.
Seamus is going to use telepathic bond.
You need to be near people for that.
Damn, never mind then. I'm not going to use telepathic bond then.
Felix is just gonna crouch down and just be like, "Are you okay? What happened?"
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
You talking to me?
You talking to me, punk? You talking to me?
Byron just wipes her eyes and deep does several steadying breaths. I'm fine. What do you need?
I mean, I'd like your help tracking someone or something, but are you sure you're okay? Look, I don't have a huge amount of experience, but generally, in the floor on a heap crying is a bad thing.
It has been a long time coming. What do you need? What do you need?
So someone or something threw a mahjong tile at my window, and then there was a bunch of mist, and then there was nothing.
Can I go outside with Felix to just take a look around the scene?
Yeah, of course.
I'm gonna do investigation.
Okay.
That's better.
So you notice some footprints on the ground near where the alleyway was. But it looks like they've done a really good job at hiding their tracks. Whoever was there had like big feet. That's all you can really tell.
Does
And
it look like
it doesn't seem like they ran away either.
Can I get a better sense of like where tracks end? Is there any more information?
They end like at the opening of the alleyway, and it's a fair few feet away from the window. So they must have had a really good like aim to have hit Felix's window.
Okay, I've got to ask. Are the footprints hoof-shaped?
With Dairon's check, yes.
Oh no.
Actually, wait, no, sorry, let me check. Before I say anything. They are... So, maybe you only really can tell the heel of the foot, and it's round at the back. So it could be a hoof, a hoof, it could be anything. But it's not like a human foot, as it would be.
I was gonna say most feet are rounded at the back unless they have like a back heel claw.
I mean like, not like a human, like, how do I describe it? Like, imagine like a semicircle. Like, I mean, I know human feet would be like, you know what I mean? It's not a human-looking foot based on the shape. Is what I'm trying to get at.
Okay. Right, you can go back to your crying on the floor, Dairon.
I just kind of looked at Felix like,
think
fuck off.
think we can probably leave this alone for now. Though if I go missing in the night, I want you to check mahjong parlors and underground mahjong parlors.
What's this about
Dairon
mahjong?
knows about the crazy guy, right?
Oh no, I've told them about the Seder.
You see Rua like look out from his window. What are you guys doing?
I think
Making sure Felix doesn't die.
I think a crazy nine-fingered Seder threw a mahjong tile at my window.
Well, hopefully it's a fucking bone claw that's pissed off at you for making stereotypical jokes about them, and he just shuts his window.
You really gotta lay off on him.
I'm doing it out of concern. He's been stabbed so many times.
I was gonna say, I imagine Felix is doing it now because he's pissed off at Rua. You know, he's resentful.
Me, the player, is doing it as a jape. Felix, the character, is doing it out of genuine concern.
I know.
He's perplexed why Rua is so annoyed. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go back to my room. If the crazy Seder comes to visit me, then he comes to visit me. Not much I can do about it.
So Felix, do you return to your room?
Yeah.
Dairon, what do you do? Daron?
I just kind of go back to the bar.
Do you go back down on the floor?
I wasn't on the floor.
But you're not? I thought you were.
Nope.
Ah, fair enough.
No, Gen never said that at any point.
I-
You just said that.
I apparently just
You just
assumed that.
imagined. Yeah. Shitty friend. Seamus,
Yeah.
as you're in your room, you hear something hit your window.
Oh no. Do I do a perception check to see what it is, or
I mean, you
what?
can just look at whatever it was if you want out your window.
Yeah, I'll look.
As you look out the window, similar to Felix on the edge of the window outside, you see a red feather.
How did that make
We
an
all
impact
just
on my
getting
window?
weird, like messaging.
Presumably.
Do you open your window and get the feather, or do you just decide to leave it?
I'll open my window and get the feather.
It looks like the feather off a Kenku.
Oh, great.
I'd laugh if they got the wrong rooms, so I got the feather and Seamus got the mahjong tile.
They actually did it
Uh,
earlier, but you weren't in your rooms yet, so they realized the mistake and corrected
I'm
it.
gonna use a perception check to see if I can
Find the sword.
find who. Yeah, find the source, find who threw it.
Yeah?
Hey, almost a nat 20.
You don't know.
Damn, they got that good of stealth.
Well, it's more just there's no, like, from the window you can't see any, like, source where it could have been.
Wild. Well, fuck, is there anything I can do about it? Nothing really. I can really just, like, close my window and get back to what I was doing.
Yeah, it's just, that's it, unfortunately. You don't know. You have no clue. But now you have a red feather. Aldane,
Mm-hmm.
as you're in your room, you actually get a sending.
Oh. So who's it from?
Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Now did I... That's the message you get. And interestingly enough, it's from Oriana.
Oh. Very curious. How do I respond to this? All right.
We're going to be wrapping this up soon, by the way.
Right.
Good.
I can tell you weren't expecting this.
No, I wasn't. I don't know if I should just say like something like simple or straightforward. If I should like add more to it. Or not.
You only have 25
Oh, this is excellent. This is incredible.
You only have 25 words, don't forget.
I know. I'm at 16 words.
Do you want to share the message with the class?
Also,
I sent him?
Felix, I can't believe you thought I was on the floor. That's hilarious.
I'm fairly sure
This is-
I heard you
This is what she sent
say
to him
you
in
were
the general
walking
chat in the
away.
Discord.
No,
Then
the throne
Throne's-
walked away.
Throne walked away. Okay. I thought you were walking away. Throne said the thing, and so you collapsed. That's what I thought happened.
Nope.
I think what happened is that's what I thought should happen after your nat 1.
Apparently.
And it just entered my mind and didn't leave.
Memens is projecting. Yeah, that's the sending Oriana sent to Aldane.
Right.
Oh god, that was funny. Aw, that's sweet.
I'd like to think
You are
I've thrown
evil,
you
I
all
know. You are evil.
I'd like to think I've thrown you all curveballs. I'm making up for the hiatus.
You are. You are.
Still, I'm glad my word vomit while on the stand helped.
Just under. There we go.
You don't get a follow up.
Yeah.
She left you unread.
Mm.
No, it's just more. I mean, you don't know how many times she can cast it.
Yeah. And I don't know how long a chain can go, if it's only sending and reply or not.
Yeah. Yeah, and so, as you send your reply to Oriana, I'm going to call it an end of the session.
Well,
Yay!
this was a lot of fun. As I said, I'm very glad my word vomit actually, ended up being a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure I was frustrating the prosecutor a little bit as well, which is fun. There are some witnesses who will, frustrate prosecutors by not saying anything. I'm the type of witness that will frustrate someone by saying everything and nothing at the same time. Let them pick out what's actually important in the mass of words.
So true.
So true, bestie.
But yes, this is where we're going to end for today. So thank you everybody for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed. In terms of future stuff, as always, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays are the days we stream. Please do give us a follow here on Twitch and all that YouTube stuff.
Like and subscribe, don't forget to press that bell icon, and leave a comment down below.
And otherwise, hopefully, we will see you on Tuesday. Good night.
Later.
Bye.